From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, India is a spellbinding mosaic of culture, tradition, languages, and an extraordinary mingling civilization. Keeping its age-old culture maintained, today the country is taking huge strides in the path of development. Hello, I'm your host Karim Zimik, and today in our episode of My India, we bring you some of the stories that will give you a glimpse of our country's diversity. A popular festival in Hinduism is that of Ganga Dashera, which celebrates the origin of goddess Ganga, which was recently celebrated with full fervour in some North Indian states. So this week we take you to various pilgrimage sites in India, where devotees gathered at ghats of river Ganges to mark the festival. Have a look.
Hindu devotees gathered at the ghats of river Ganga in various pilgrimage sites, where devotees took a holy dip and offered prayers to celebrate the festival of Ganga Dashera that marks the descent of the holy river on earth. Regarded as the celestial river of Hindus originating in the heavens, the legend holds that Ganga was gifted to mankind in response to the great penance undertaken by King Bhagirath, after whom she is also called Bhagirathi. Bhagirath, a descendant of the legendary Sagara dynasty, prayed for Ganga to descend onto the parched earth and bring life. This holy festival is observed for a period of 10 days. On the occasion, devotees performed rituals and prayed to mark this special occasion in northern Varanasi and Prayagraj cities.
गंगा दशहरा है। भगीरथ ने गंगा जी लाया है आज के दिन और उन स्नान करते हैं और उनको चढ़ाते हैं फूल माला फल कपड़ा आरती करते हैं दान देते हैं.
According to the Hindu mythology, goddess Ganga came down to the earth on Dashmi, month of Jyeshtha, and freed Bhagirathi's ancestors from a curse. It is believed that if one offers prayer on this day, one attains salvation from 10 sins. Every year, pilgrims from all over India take part in the festival and bathe in the holy river in large numbers.
आज ये 2 साल से जब से ये रोग चला है कोरोना का, तब से तो एकदम भीड़ नहीं हो रही. नहीं, इस वक्त तो यहाँ बैठने की जगह नहीं मिलती रही. आस्थावान जो हैं वो नहीं मानते, वो आज भी स्नान करने के लिए चल दे रहे घर से, चाहे जो हो.
The Ganga is considered holy river and is worshipped by Hindus who make up about 80% of India's 1.3 billion people. They call it Ganga Mata or Mother Ganga and believe a dip in the river absolves a lifetime of sins. The Ganga Dashera festival reflects the variety of rich cultural traditions of India. And such festivals set off shared attitudes, values, goals and practices that symbolize the plurality of its Indian culture.
Jammu and Kashmir recently got soaked in festive spirit as its Gandarbal district hosted the annual Kirbhavani festival, one of the biggest religious festivals of Kashmiri Pandits. The celebration not just limits itself to one community, but it's open for all, making it a perfect example of communal harmony.
No matter what religion we follow, we are one family. These words, showcasing India's strong bond of secularism, resonated loudly at the Kirbhavani temple located in Tulmula village of Jammu and Kashmir's Gandarbal district. Housing the shrine of Ragnya Devi, a revered goddess of Kashmiri Pandit, the temple is the holiest destination for the community who visit it mostly during the annual festival that falls on Jyesht Ashtami. Though it is a big occasion for Kashmiri Pandits, but people from all communities eagerly take part in it, setting a beautiful example of peace and brotherhood. This year, amid the pandemic, though the crowd was quite small as compared to previous years, but the enthusiasm among the devotees was no less. Devotees paid their obeisance to the goddess while observing all the COVID-19 SOPs.
पिछले 2 साल से अभी ये कोरोना, लास्ट ईयर भी कोरोना था, इस साल भी कोरोना है, लेकिन हमारे जोश में कोई कमी नहीं आई है। जैसे कि ये कश्मीरी पंडितों का एक बहुत बड़ा दिन होता है ज्येष्ठ अष्टमी, तो हर साल की तरह इस साल भी हम लोग उतने ही उत्साह से उसको मना रहे हैं।
इस टाइम हम नहीं देखते हैं हिंदू मुस्लिम्स, सिर्फ हम देखते हैं प्यार आपस में और श्रद्धा। ये बिल्कुल नहीं देखते हैं कि ये हिंदू है, ये मुस्लिम है, सिर्फ प्यार और प्यार और प्यार।
Inside the temple premises, there is a sacred spring symbolizing goddess Ragna Devi, also known as Kirbhavani. Within the spring is a marble temple dedicated to the goddess. According to the legend, there were 360 springs surrounding the main spring, but all of these have disappeared as land became marshy all around. Today, during the annual festival, devotees offer rose petals, milk and kheer, a rice pudding to the sacred spring to pay their obeisance to the goddess. Along with this, devotees, especially males, also take a holy dip in the stream close to the shrine. It is said that Pandits from faraway places visit this temple only on the occasion of Kirbhavani, but for the entire year, it's the Muslims of the area who take care of it and make sure that the tradition is kept alive. Even during the festival, they pray for the return of their Hindu brethren to the valley.
भाईचारा किसी को समझ नहीं आता है, पंडित कौन है, मुस्लिम कौन है, सिख कौन है, ये कोई किसी को पता नहीं चलता था, क्योंकि एक ही जैसे होते थे। आय के बगैर भी हम दुआ करते हैं, वही दिन आए कि हम एक दूसरे के साथ गले लगाकर चलें। हम ये हमेशा दुआ करते हैं।
Today, the festival has turned out to be the most shining example of communal harmony and brotherhood in the country, and very well presents the Sufi culture of the Union Territory that binds people of different faiths and communities together.
Now a roundup of some of the major stories that made news recently.
India felicitated Kashmiri youngsters who summited Mount Everest earlier this month against challenging weather odds. The expedition was a joint effort of Srinagar-based Jawahar Institute of Mountaineering and Winter Sports, Uttarakhand's Nehru Institute of Mountaineering and the Indian Army. The team faced two back-to-back storms at Camp 2 during their summit in May because of two cyclones on the Indian mainland. The team finally managed to summit the Everest on June 1 against all odds as many teams returned to base camp waiting for the weather to clear.
बहुत सारी टीमें वापस भी आ गई। हमारी इंडिया की बहुत और भी टीम CAPF की टीम थी हमारे साथ, 48 लोगों की टीम। तो जब वेदर ख़राब हुआ 2-3 दिन रुके वो वहाँ, 3 दिन के बाद वापस डाउन हो गए। बाकी और टीमें थी, फॉरेनर्स थे, सारे लोग डाउन हो गए। और हमने फिर वहाँ बहुत टाइम बिताया और हम वेदर का वेट कर रहे थे कि कब वेदर खुलेगा, कब खुलेगा। और लास्ट में फिर 29 को वेदर खुला और फिर हमने 1 जून को सबमिट करा।
The Kashmiri man who scaled Everest belonged to a humble background. It was for the first time in India that two national mountaineering institutes collaborated for such an expedition and the first international expedition of JIM and WS. The Indian IT industry has witnessed a growth in revenues and employees as many companies announced the transition to remote work as part of the efforts to keep their businesses running smoothly. Chennai, capital of Tamil Nadu state in southern India, is an important center for the IT industry where many companies have adopted working from home in response to COVID-19 lockdown measures. Employees who work from home often need to work overtime to deal with increasing orders as regular operations of IT companies has led to an increase in orders.
We continuously working from home for the last 1.5 years. This become a prolonged stressful life for us. Nearly some 10 to 12 hours we are continuously seeing our laptop and working from home. In spite of that, from company standpoint, the productivity is not affected. In fact, it is doubled.
The Indian IT industry witnessed a 2.3% growth in revenue at $194 billion while adding 138,000 employees in 2020 according to the National Association of Software and Service Companies, or NASSCOM.
The world-renowned lock-making industry in Aligarh employs a large workforce. This includes both Hindus and Muslims. Today in our series of beautiful examples of communal harmony from across the country, we will take a look at how the lock-making industry of Aligarh has been propagating the message of peace and brotherhood.
India has always been a land of peaceful coexistence and a multicultural societal framework. Be it any state, city or territory, people of different religions have been residing harmoniously. One such city is Aligarh in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh, whose centuries-old lock-making industry is famous all around the world. Apart from producing world-class clocks, the industry presents a unique example of communal harmony in the country. Aligarh has a mixed population of Hindus and Muslims, and they have been working together since ages to make this industry stronger by the day.
सभी तरह की लेबर मेरे पास रहती है, क्योंकि मुसलमान भाई किसी चीज़ के एक्सपर्ट हैं, दूसरा समाज का किसी चीज़ का एक्सपर्ट है, तो हर आदमी अपने अपने फ़न का फ़नकार है, तो सभी से मिल कर के हमारी इंडस्ट्री चलती है। तो हमें तो जो है हर समय अपने सभी वर्करों का ध्यान रखना पड़ता है और उनको भी समय से पैसा देना पड़ता है। उनकी ईद हमारी ईद है, हमारी दिवाली उनकी दिवाली है। उनको ये महसूस नहीं होने देते कि भाई कोई चीज़ किस ज़माने में जिए।
Aligarh city has been making locks since the Mughal period, but when the British came, they streamlined it into a major economic activity. At the turn of the 20th century, Aligarh was already producing 500,000 locks per annum, valued at Rs 2,76,000. HR Neville District Gazetters of the United Provinces Agra and Oudh Aligarh 1926. Buoyed by its success, the British government set up a metal workshop here in 1926 to train artisans in lock making. In the coming few decades, every family in the district and lakhs in neighbouring ones had at least one member associated with the industry. Since ages, Hindus and Muslims have thrived together due to their bond of love and their passion for lock making. This passion has taught them to live together harmoniously. This wave of brotherhood has affected everyone in the city, and people of different religion reside together with utmost love and peace.
ऐसा कोई हिंदू मुसलमान वाली बात कोई है नहीं, व्यवहार अच्छा है इनका। समझे? मैं तो अपने इनके घर की फैमिली की तरह ऐसे रहता हूँ ना, कोई ऐसी भेदभाव वाली बात नहीं। समझे? जो ईमानदारी की बात है, कारीगरों का ख्याल भी रखते हैं।
India, home to multiple religions and languages, is known for its diversity. Peaceful coexistence and regard for other religions is an integral part of the Indian ethos. And examples like these only reinforce our beliefs in the secular fabric of our country.
Yoga is the journey of self through the self to the self. Since ages, this ancient form of exercise has been helping enriching lives of individuals, not just in India but around the world. Each year, International Yoga Day is celebrated to popularize the power of yoga. This year too, the 7th International Yoga Day was celebrated with adherence to all COVID-19 norms. They say a fresh mind and a healthy body can dispel darkness, and yoga has been helping us to achieve the same since ages. An invaluable gift of our ancient tradition, yoga is being known to the entire world since 2014, when the United Nations General Assembly declared 21st June as International Yoga Day. This year, 7th International Yoga Day was observed, and India, being the birthplace of yoga too, with immense enthusiasm and with strict adherence to all COVID-19 norms. In Mumbai city of Maharashtra, yoga enthusiasts took up to the ancient practice near the Kanheri Caves, a heritage collection of basalt caves and rock-cut monuments.
हमारे जीवन में योगा रोज ही करना बहुत ज़रूरी है, और ये योगा छोटे 8 साल के या 10 साल के आगे 70-80 साल की उम्र तक के लोग आराम से कर सकते हैं। इससे हमारी शारीरिक, मानसिक और भावनिक संतुलन अच्छा रहता है।
Meanwhile, in Goa, a yoga program was organized in the backdrop of Aquada Fort, a 17th century Portuguese fort overlooking the Arabian Sea. Citizens performed various yogic postures and breathing exercises to inhale the fresh morning breeze and perform the ancient practice at a heritage site.
उनके आर्कोलॉजिकल इम्पोर्टेंट साइट विच इज़ आगवाद फोर्ट, यहाँ मना के यानी योगा इंटरनेशनल डे का और भी इम्पोर्टेंस बढ़ा दिया। इस योगा इंटरनेशनल डे के प्रोग्राम्स के थ्रू आर्कोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया की साइट पूरे वर्ल्ड मैप पर फिर से एक बार आ गई। इसलिए मैं गोवा सरकार की तरफ से फिर से एक बार उनका ही अभिनंदन करता हूँ।
Paramilitary forces took the practice of yoga to the extreme ends of the country. Soldiers performed Surya Namaskar and other yoga asanas on a snowy mountain in Ladakh at an altitude above 18,000 feet amid snowfall and in the picturesque Himalayan valley. Armed forces also performed yoga in the scorching deserts of Jaisalmer city in Rajasthan. This year's theme for International Yoga Day was Yoga for Wellness in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic.
कोरोना के बावजूद इस बार की योग दिवस की थीम योगा फॉर वेलनेस ने करोड़ों लोगों में योग के प्रति उत्साह को और भी बढ़ाया है। मैं आज योग दिवस पर ये कामना करता हूं कि हर देश, हर समाज और हर व्यक्ति स्वस्थ हो।
Yoga is an ancient meditative technique that cleanses, heals and harmonizes the body from its core. It is a practice that has been accepted widely even in Western cultures for its capacity to bring body balance and calmness of mind. Next, we bring you a few short stories about the recent developments and happenings from around the world in our section World in Focus.
Yokohama city is the second most populous city in Japan with a population of 3.7 million. The port area facing Tokyo Bay is an area that harmonizes the open and beautiful harbour with a history of accepting Western and Asian culture. Theme park Gundam Factory Yokohama, featuring Japan's leading robot animation character Gundam, was opened last December near Yamashita Park. The 18-meter tall Gundam move attracts the most number of visitors. Gundam is popular Japanese animation robot hero and is known not only in Japan but also around the world through plastic model and enemy screening. The name of this Gundam is Gundam RX-78FOO. It is assumed that Gundam was found in Yokohama city in pieces such as hand and feet and was repaired to move again. On observation deck, special photo of the beautiful scenery of Yokohama city and Gundam are very unique.
非常に大きいんですけれども、小さい部分、ディテールが非常に緻密に作られてますんで、そういった部分もお楽しみいただけるんじゃないかなと思ってます。世界初の動く RX-78 ガンダムをですね、ぜひ皆さんにまずは見ていただきたいと思ってます。でその上でやはりガンダムというのは、世界の人々に勇気を与えるような存在であってほしいなと、以前から思っておりますので、ぜひですね、コロナ禍ではございますが、日本に来れる、ようになりましたら、ぜひ日本に来ていただいて、世界初のこのガンダムに見て触れていただきたいと思っております。
It's sunset on Yokohama City. The view of the port changes beautifully. The moving Gundam offers special view at night. It's fantastic sight that comes to mind with the backdrop of the illuminated Gundam, the sea and night view of Yokohama. Yokohama is a city full of energy where visitors can engage in unique activities. Gundam factory, Yokohama, will be scheduled to open until March 2022. On a small island where the Senegal River meets the sea, hundreds of mask-wearing jazz enthusiasts listen to French-Senegalese vocalist Awali sing a blues for uncertain times. Last year, COVID-19 halted St. Louis's Jazz Festival for the first time in its 29-year history. This year, it was back, bringing much-needed life to the island of St. Louis, a UNESCO World Heritage Site famed for its colonial architecture and pastel-colored houses. African rhythms, funk, gospel and blues could be heard along the narrow streets last weekend, emanating from restaurants, bars and hotels into the early morning.
I'm grateful that we made it, that we had the opportunity to do it. You know, like last year there was no festival at all, so really it's a big event, and you could feel that people were so happy to be there, and that everybody was kind of a party. That everybody were like, I was relieved, and everybody was relieved too, and it was a beautiful energy, a beautiful vibration, a beautiful link also between the stage and the audience.
Billed as Africa's biggest jazz festival, St. Louis has struggled with dwindling attendance since its days, hosting headliners like American pianist Herbie Hancock, who played there in 1996. But it does draw enthusiasts from across West Africa and Europe and is a source of pride for the city's street performers. Enjoying hot sand bath is a unique experience in Japan, only found in Ibusuki, Kagoshima Prefecture, where many volcanic landforms can be found.
温泉の熱を使って砂を温めて、その温めた砂を体にかける。だから砂のお風呂、あったかい砂のお風呂。お願いします。一応言われてるのが、砂蒸し自体はだいたい400年以上前からやってたんじゃないかなとは言われてます。で、昔から指宿自体が温泉がすごく多くて有名だったので、西郷隆盛とかそういう昔の島津藩の人たちがここに宿を借りて温泉で疲れを癒してたんじゃないかなという話はあります。
There are a number of clocks lined up in the sand bath hall to remind visitors that they should not stay in the sand for more than 10 minutes so as to get the best benefits of the bath and avoid dehydration.
普通の温泉の4倍ぐらいの効果があると言われています。肩こりとか腰痛、冷え性、体感的には42、3度ぐらいになると思います。砂蒸しはとても世界的にももうここでしかないので、なかなか珍しいものですから、ぜひ体験して感じてもらえればなと思います。
To take a sand bath, visitors can borrow a yukata, get into a sand pit and let the attendant heap sand over them. The heated sand will warm the whole body, and its weight also aids in improving blood circulation. There are facilities with steam sand bath located right by the sea, and the sound of the waves relaxes the mind.
That's all we have for you this week. Your comments and suggestions are important to us. Do give us your feedback at myindia@ani.com. I'm your host, Skyry Man. It's goodbye from the entire production team.